Hey, this is Jay of the Really Coding channel. I am going to look at pre-commit as it relates to the Cookiecutter Django package. That's right. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and create a new package here. Sorry, I just kind of jumped into this. No plan. We'll say Cookiecutter GH Cookiecutter Cookiecutter Django. Walk through a build real quick. Pre-commit with two T's. No reason. One for username, UTC. Yes for Windows. 3 for VS Code. Yes for Docker. 1 for Postgres 16. AWS is fine. Yes to async. No to DRF. We'll say no on Webpack, but I'm getting closer to that tutorial. We'll say no for Serial 2, Celery, but that one's coming. Yes for Mailpit, just in case. No for Sentry. Yes for white noise, doesn't really matter. No. 4 for GitHub. No. Yes for debug. Because, ironically, it creates a bit of a bug if you say no. Okay, so we've got that project open. Let's go into VS Code. And change my view settings to live stream here. Or, for some reason, my default makes the files bigger, but the text slightly smaller than live stream. But that's fine. Okay. I just have to squint to see the file manager over here, but take the terminal, which I just rolled Control-Shift-tilde. It's a pretty cool little trick I recently learned. Okay. The way this works is that you need pre-commit. So if we go look at the docs for Cookiecutter Django, Django docs. In the getting up and running with either one, it should say right here. We have get init and then pre-commit install. That was hard to say out loud. It says here, before doing any git commit, pre-commit should be installed globally on your local machine, and then, okay. So you're going to need pre-commit for this, which is pip install pre-commit. For whatever reason, it doesn't work on your machine, because I actually had a weird situation a while back on this machine where it would say it installed and then it wouldn't let me use it. I don't know what that was about, but it did work through a virtual machine when I installed it there. Once it's installed, it does the job. Like the package just kind of like sets up the pre-commit environment, I believe. And then from there, Git does the rest of the work. But I'm not entirely sure. I'll show you how this works, though. I've already got that installed on my machine here. So the first thing we need to do is git init within the project folder. Just gave us an initialized repository. Then we want to say pre-commit install. Okay, so then it says here pre-commit installed at git or .git hooks pre-commit. So if we come over to okay, I'm not entirely sure what that is. Is it in the pre-commit folder? No, that's not. I shouldn't have named it that. It's the 2 T's is the project. Okay, I'm not sure where that's stored, to be honest with you. It's It's around and about. I'm pretty sure that the hooks, no? Okay. These are some things that I wanted to get into with that, but I don't know exactly where that's at, but rest assured, it's installed. If you see a .git there, maybe it's a new folder that didn't come in. Okay. Regardless, okay, so now we've got pre-commit installed within the project. So now if I run git add and then git commit -m initial Cookiecutter Django commit. Watch what happens. See, it's initializing environment. And I'll show you what all these are. Atom chains, Astral, SF, Rough, Django upgrade. There's a few other ones. The same here. It says it'll take a few minutes. And this only happens the first time you do this. And then I'll show you what it's doing. It might take a little longer than I thought it would. Keep in mind, I just ran commit. After that pre-commit install, it's the same as using git. It's automatically going to do the thing. So all you have to do is worry about getting that pre-commit installed. And not waiting too long into your project build to do it, because the amount of errors you're going to get slapped in the face with. These linters are no joke. They really keep your code repository clean, but they do throw fits. So I'm going to show you a few things about that in just a second. As you can see, now it's actually running the pre-commit, and it's going through all of the linters, and it's running the code. And because it's doing the first time pre-commit, everything should be clean because it came from the repository. But it does have to process all the files. See, it's passing everything. It failed a rough hook ID rough exit code 1. Files are modified by this hook. So all that means, there are no errors that we need to fix. What happened was rough went ahead and made an update. It's going to show what it did right here. Reformatting. So it reformatted this file for whatever reason. So all we need to do is run add excuse me, add again. Run the same commit. And just let it run again. And as you can see, this time it's not installing the environment. The environment's already there, so it's just running through the linters. And it should be pretty fast. Well, it'll be about as slow as it was the first time, because it's going to go check all the files again, I believe. Almost there. DJ lint formatting for Django, DJ linting for Django. Great. Okay. So that worked. Let me show you a quick example of when it gets a little annoying. So there it is. Gotta get better about naming my packages, naming my folders. Let's go into the home page and do one of these. So I'll say block content. Let's do end block, but I'm not going to put content there. I'm doing that on purpose. And then also I'm going to do this. I'm going to say style width 100 pixels, height 100 pixels, background red. Let's make sure we have that. Okay, so I just made a change to that file. What I need to do now is add it to the repository and then commit it. We can do this. Homepage div inline style example. I don't know why I put a dash there. I do that sometimes. I just put dashes in words and then I regret it. Doesn't make me look smart. Okay, so we've got two errors here. Let me see if rough didn't seem to change anything. It's just this DJ lint Django now exited. It's got two errors. It's going to tell you what errors they are. One is H021. It says inline styles should be avoided. Another one is T003. In the block should have a name, right? There's a couple of ways. If, let's say, for instance, we want to keep the inline styling, there's a couple of ways to get around that situation. The first one is, so I'm trying to think right here. I believe this will, no, that's not going to work. I forget how to comment out in that situation. Well, for one, this is an easy solve and it shouldn't be left off, right? You can comment out some of these in the Python code. Sorry, I should have named this. I'm just staring at it going, that says pre-commit. That's not what I'm looking for. But that's exactly what I'm looking for. Okay. Over in views, if you, for instance, you can say no QA and then QA and then put the code H021. So like that's, but it has to be on the line that's causing the problem. In this case, it's actually an inline. That's actually an HTML issue, and I'll show you that in just a second. In fact, I have to do something here so I can show you that. I know I'm learning this as I go, but I feel like this is pretty useful information. I just wish I was more prepared. I just wanted to jump into this and I have some other stuff to do today. But if you'll bear with me, and I've got a ton of other like better tutorials I'm trying to do around Cookiecutter Django. I've got WebSockets, we've got Celery, we've got, I don't know, we've got a lot of stuff that I could show off. And before I do that, I want to get the basics out of the way. Let me, come back here. Move this over here. Okay, so the way that, that's one way to do it is if you go to the line in the file, which this is listing it out weird, fixing pre-commit. Usually, when you read this, typically you see the page, it's not laid out like this. This must be because it's DJ linter, but there's one of these other ones. It'll list out all of the problems in a row with the pages next to them. You'll get the code numbers. Always look for these codes. You can Google them. ChatGPT knows what codes do what. Some of them you can go into the code and you can, like I said, no QA, comment them out. You have to do it on the line that's causing the issue. In this case, it's line 4 space 2, but it isn't, well, it says the homepage HTML up here. So it's a little confusing to what I normally look at. But the way all of this works anyways is that if you go into the pre-commit to config YAML file in here, you can see that it's got all of those linters. So you've got this Adam chains linter. It's using all these hooks from that linter. If you target ID Django upgrade. Oh wait, I guess that's okay. Wait, my bad. This is the actual pre-commit repo with these hooks. This is Adam chains Django upgrade using this hook, and then we have rough pre-commit right here. Has arguments that go into it. And they all do. This is exactly what I'm about to show you. In fact, I wanted to show you on the DJ lint, which is this one right here. So the way that we do this is under each hook you can put arguments. So in the case, and they're all gonna have their own way of kind of doing this, I guess, but it's mostly the same syntax. And in this case, let's say this is for inline styles, as you can see right here, H021. What I'm saying is ignore H021. And we might, we need to put the args there too. So sorry, I am copying this, no cap. Okay, so let's try it with just that real quick. We'll go add, we'll do commit. And if it doesn't allow us to get through, we'll put it on DJ lint Django. Yeah. Let's try just on DJ lint Django and see if that doesn't work. I have it on both on this other project, and I'd like to know, just a quick test, which one it belongs on, or if it belongs on both, and if so, why are both doing the same thing, I guess. But no, okay. So in this case, is H021 really just belongs on DJ lint Django. Now it being on another one is there, it doesn't handle that error message, so it doesn't know it anyways, so it's fine ignoring it, obviously, right? But that's just a couple of ways that we could do that, just to tweak the linters. Now, let's say you don't want one of these linters, you can just come in here and just take it out, save, rebuild, whatever. Lots of different linters in here, and you know, like I said, when you're building your project, you go miles into the project, and then you go, you know what, I should probably commit this, and then you even remember at that point to put pre-commit in and install it. You're gonna run it, and you're gonna have. I did this just a couple weeks ago. I had over 180 errors that I had to crawl through and fix, and it'll take you all over your project. Talk about a trip down memory lane, getting to see all that code again, having to clean it up, and then you have to test your project and make sure it works afterwards, which if it's a large project, you've got a lot of things you have to test to make sure it didn't mess everything up. So my suggestion is you init as soon as you download Cookiecutter Django, you install pre-commit, go ahead and give it a commit to start it off, and then just start branching your work into different feature branches, and you know, playing developer, as it were. But that's about all I have for the pre-commit situation. Other than, let me poke through this folder real quick. So I don't know a whole lot about this folder, to be honest with you, but this is GitHub related, and it's a YML file that has a couple of commands in here, which you might find useful if you know GitHub at all. But it appears to be something that runs with CI/CD, where when you're doing a pull request, it appears to run some checks, which is pretty cool. I'm working on a project where we're doing pull requests, and there are in GitHub. It actually runs tests on the project, which none of us set up, so I'm assuming it comes from here. And then Dependabot, so keep those things in mind as you go. That and also I did pick the GitHub option, so you'll always have this pre-commit thing as part of the project, and then this might be GitHub specific, but just that's about all I know in regards to your Git attributes and your Git ignore file. In regards to Git as it pertains to Cookiecutter Django, I will be doing a hopefully much better tutorial on Celery, but the problem with that is that when you do Celery, you kind of need to update the front end, which I think I can just, I know I can just use HTMX to kind of show that off, but then it's like, is that going to be good? Am I leaving you hanging if I use HTMX versus like something else, right? But then we have WebSockets, so then I'm like, do I do WebSockets first? But WebSockets is pretty, it's not too bad. Channels, Django channels, WebSockets channels, Celery, those all go great together. So I might do one really long one. I don't think anybody would want that, or try to break it down into several parts. But I'm still mulling over in my head how to do it in a way that's going to be useful. So until I figure that out, I'm gonna I've got a couple of other small things I'm going to touch on, so I'll try to upload a few more of these videos in the near future. So until then, keep on coding.